Church family, I wanted to come on and share some deep pain and hurt and sadness around some of the recent events that have occurred in our country. About 7 years ago, I was invited onto a panel around the deaths of Eric Garner and Philando Castile. And one of the questions that was asked of me was, Robert, how does these events make you feel? And so granted, I am a Black man who find myself often around a community of white people, where I find myself often as one of few who look like me in many contexts that I find myself in. So my response to that question was, I wonder if something like that will happen to me. There is this cloud that follows me in light of these events where I do walk with a little bit of caution around, will someone see me and think that I fit the description? Will I get pulled over? And because of the color of my skin, a law enforcement officer will think something of me and therefore treat me more harshly. Church family, yesterday, an unarmed Black man, Deontay Wright, was killed by a law enforcement officer. 7 years ago, I thought these are one-off events. They won't keep happening. But the reality is they do. And they are still happening. And Black and brown people are still dying. And my heart does hurt over all of these occurrences. I mourn this mother of Deontay Wright. I mourn the family of George Floyd. And church, we are on the heels of the Chauvin case over the death of George Floyd. We are on the heels of a mass shooting and a mass murder of Asian brothers and sisters. And this land is hurting. People are mourning. How would God invite us to step into this? Matthew 22, Jesus responds to his disciples. And he says, the greatest commandment is love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and all of your mind. And the second is the like, love your neighbor as yourself. Church, if we are loving the Lord our God with all of our heart, with all of our mind, and all of our soul, loving our neighbor comes a bit more easier because we understand the love of God for us and make it personal. When I think of the enormity of my sin, the enormity of my faults before a holy and a righteous God, and his love extended to me, how can I not love my brother as myself? How can I not love my sister as myself? And church, what the events in our country has unearthed is a polarizing division within the church, where we have tabled and or put on the shelf the call and the commandment from Jesus Christ, King Jesus, to love our neighbor as ourselves. That's everyone. And so, church, my heart breaks today. I hurt today. I mourn today. The senseless death of yet another brown-skinned man. I hurt with my Asian brothers and sisters who are still in pain, who are still wounded, who are still mourning. I hurt and I mourn. In church, I'm not trying to create an argument for why you shouldn't be sad or why you shouldn't be mourning. This is a proper response to death. And so, church, what do we do now? We've had conversations for many years now. We prayed often And I say we keep praying and we keep having conversations and we keep illuminating bias in our own hearts. We keep confessing the sin of partiality, racism that exists in our own lives. We keep pressing up against darkness. In church, we press into unity. It is no secret that the enemy is trying to divide the church, and he is. The question is, are you aware of it? Are you sensitive to it? And in these spaces of death, can you simply mourn with a brother and sister to showcase the love and the care of God? Church, the invitation for us right now is we really need to be a praying people, unified in prayer, walking alongside our brothers and sisters who are hurting, understanding more of our pain, more of our angst, more of our anger, and being a little bit more like Jesus. And so, church, the invitation is unity. The invitation is prayer. The invitation is growing in knowledge of what's going on and arresting the sin of bias and the sin of racism. God forgives us and he forgives you. Let's be unified and let's pray and let's mourn with those of us who are mourning right now. Love you, family.